Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Levi. This is a cybersecurity education channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Today we're going to be talking about protecting your data on devices that you sell or that you give away to somebody. This video will be beneficial to you because it'll help you protect your data on your device to make sure that people don't get access to your data that you don't want them to have. And it'll also help protect your accounts so that people can't get into your accounts and they can't set up fake financial accounts and stuff for you. Today we'll be talking about 5 different things that you can do when you sell a device or when you give it away. The first thing is you can do absolutely nothing. This is by far the worst option. I do not recommend doing that at all. Basically, you got like this old laptop that Aunt Sally comes to a family event and she's like, "Oh, I know that you're a computer person, or I know that you have a bunch of extra computers laying around. Can I have your device?" And you're like, "Sure, yeah, I'll give it to you." So you give your device to Aunt Sally the way that the device is. You never log off any of the accounts. You don't delete any of the data. You just hand it straight over to her, and boom, Aunt Sally, here you go. Here's my laptop. I haven't done anything to it. I highly recommend you never do this. And the reason is you give her access to everything on that device. And not only, okay, you're like, well,
I trust Aunt Sally, Levi. Like, Aunt Sally would never do anything that would harm me.
The problem is not with Aunt Sally. The problem is Aunt Sally could give that device to somebody else and they could compromise, or they could see all the data on your device that you were able to see. Any accounts that you were logged into, they could potentially go and just get straight into those accounts, not type any password or anything, depending on if those accounts time out or anything. It's just a terrible idea. You know, if you had like your social security or birthday or any type of personal information on there, they could use that to open up financial accounts and commit fraud against you. So absolutely do not ever do nothing. That is by far the worst option. All right, option number 2. Delete data and log off all your accounts on the device. So basically you go and you manually delete all your stuff and you back it up before you delete it all off of there, and then you log off of all your accounts. This option is a little bit better. It prevents people from just going straight into the device and being able to access stuff off of it, but I mean, it's still not the greatest option. So basically what this means is, you know, you got a bunch of files on your machine, you go and back them up, unless you don't really care about them, then you can just toss them if you want. But then you just manually go and you delete each one, and then you clear out the recycling bin. You take off all your accounts on there and set up a new account for Aunt Sally, and boom, there you go. So that's what she gets. So like if you have a Mac or iOS device, if you go with this option, you'll want to make sure that you turn off Find My Device on here. If you don't, that person, if they ever go to reset the device, they won't be able to get back into it because it'll lock them out. And you know, these future steps coming down the line, except for the destruction one that's coming up, you really want to make sure to turn that off so the person can get into their device whenever they need to. Otherwise, they could get locked out of it and they can't get back in without you. Also, make sure you log off all your iTunes accounts, like iTunes accounts, and especially any type of account that you have a limitation on. Like, I know iTunes used to have a limit where if you were logged on to more than like 3 or 5 devices, like you couldn't stream, you had to deauthorize a device, and you can only do that so many times a year. So you want to make sure that you're signing off of those when you give your account away. When you give your system away or your device away. So this isn't really that great of an option either. I mean, it's way better than doing nothing. The problem with this option is anybody that has advanced skill, and it doesn't take very much skill, when you're deleting that data, you're just deleting like a pointer to that data. That data is actually still on the drive. If you take advanced recovery software, you can easily pull that data right back off. So This one's a little bit better, but it's still not great. You know, it's gonna keep the basic people from pulling data off of there, but anybody with advanced IT knowledge would be able to pull that data off. So option number 3, you wipe the drive and you reinstall the operating system on the drive. So on a Windows or Mac machine, you'd reinstall Windows or Mac. On Windows, you basically, in Windows 10 anyway, you go to the Start menu, you go to the Settings, and then there's an option to reset your PC. And then that would basically just delete all your stuff off of there. Then on Mac, it's a little bit more difficult. You have to press the command, you restart the machine, and then you press the Command plus R button, and then you go to the, there's a disk utility option that will come up there. You select the disk that you want to erase, which would be all of them in this case, and then you press erase on it, and then it'll wipe all the data off the drive. And then you basically restart again. You do the Command plus R command as it's restarting, and then there's an option to install Macs again, or the Mac operating system again. Basically, so like your iPhone, your iPad, and Android devices, Samsung phones and stuff like that, your only supported option is to reset the phone. So you go in the settings, and then there's an option like reset my device or something like that. I'll go ahead and post links down below so that you can see the instructions on how to wipe these devices if you would like to do that. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below and I'd be glad to help you out with it. So like on deleting data and just logging off of all your accounts, you really want to log off all your accounts on this one too. You want to make sure that you're backing up your data too if you need it. This option is a fairly good option. I mean, it's still not the best. If you have somebody that's really advanced in IT, they can still pull that data off of there, but it's making it harder for them to pull the data off. You know, part of your data has been overwritten when the operating system was put back on. And so some of that data will be unrecoverable or very hard to recover. So, you know, at the bare minimum, if you're going to do anything, I would highly recommend wiping the drive and reinstalling it. For the majority of the people, this is good enough, but it's still not the best option. You know, I'd say for the average person, it's probably okay. And then really on iPhones and Android devices, it's really your only supported option. So, but like for businesses and stuff, I would go past this level. Like if you have a business or you work in a company, they should be going past just wiping and reinstalling. And they should be going on step number 4 or 5. So we'll move on to step number 4. You write zeros to the device. So there's a program called Eric Boot Nuke, also abbreviated as DBAN. You plug this disk or USB device, you boot to it, and it basically overwrites zeros to all of your data multiple times, and it just keeps doing this and doing this and doing this, and then it makes that data pretty much unrecoverable. I mean, it would take somebody like the federal government or some large security firm to go in and pull that data off. So by doing this option, it basically makes the data pretty much unrecoverable unless you're talking about a large entity that has tons of resources to try to pull that data off, and they're not going to get everything off that device. It's going to take a lot of work. So unless you're something like major criminal, this one would probably work pretty well for you. The one side note is this really only works on like kind of older drives that are non-solid state. Solid state drives, you basically have to, your best option is either to encrypt the drive or use a manufacturer tool or parted magic to refresh that drive. And the reason why is if you're writing zeros to a solid state drive, it's just going to wear the drive faster, and it's not good for the drive, and it might not even actually do much good on a solid state drive just because of the way that they work. So for the average person, like encrypting the drive is probably fairly well. Just keep in mind that, you know, computing power is going up and up and up, and at some point in time, encryption is not going to be It's not going to prevent people from accessing that data. They'll be able to break that encryption. So using one of these other tools, such as Part of Magic, or a manufacturing tool, or a manufacturer's tool that they provide to wipe the drive, would be a better option. But you can also encrypt it on top of there. Once again, writing zeros, make sure that you back up all the data off the drive before you do it, and log off any accounts that you are logged into. Number 5, my favorite option: destroy the data. I love destroying stuff, so there's multiple ways that you can destroy this. Obviously, make sure you back up your data once again, and then you really don't want to do this option unless you're not going to want to use the device ever again. And the best thing about destroying the data is by far the best option to make the data unrecoverable. Once again, like this, like even if you destroy the data, like if there's pieces of your drive laying around, some large government authority or some large organization can go and pull data off of there. But because you've destroyed most of it, it's going to take a ridiculous amount. Like he would have to be a major criminal, or like a spy for another country or something like that, for them to want to put that level of effort in. And even then, they're not going to be able to get as much as if you didn't do anything at all, right? So what methods can you use to destroy data? Well, you can smash that drive in that system, or you can just beat the crap out of that phone or whatever. And you can also smash that like button while you're at it. You can burn the device. You can drill a hole through a device. I had an organization that we had a drill press, and we would just push it up and down on the devices. We wrote zeros to them before we did that, so it was an extra method of protection. You could pour hydrochloric acid on it or something and then burn it. You can blow it up. That's probably my personal favorite. It's always fun to watch your devices blow up, especially if they piss you off over the years. Or you can grind it. I mean, there's so many different options. So yeah, if you really wanted to secure your data, like writing zeros to it and then destroying it after, I mean, that pretty much makes your data unrecoverable. It would take a significant amount of effort for somebody to recover the data off of there. So today we talked about 5 different ways that you can protect your device when you're giving it away or selling it. You can do nothing. You basically just hand it off the way that it is. You can delete the data and then log off all your accounts on there. So you'll manually go and delete all your data off of there, log off your accounts, and then hand it over to Aunt Sally. You can wipe the drive and reinstall. You go and reset the device, and you reinstall the operating system. You can use something like Derek's boot and nuke to write zeros to the drive. I'll post a link down below on where you can get that at, in case you're interested in that idea. And then you can also do the best option, and my favorite option, is destroy the device by smashing it, lighting fire to it, throwing a nuclear bomb at it, all that stuff. Those are the things that you can do to really help secure your device when you're giving your device away. Make sure that you are doing something to it, not just giving it away. Don't put in the effort to do something to delete your data off of it. You don't just want to hand your devices away. I hope this content was really useful for you guys today. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button and click the subscribe button. You can also go back and watch my previous content, and you can keep watching my future content. I'm well experienced in IT and IT security. I have a CompTIA Security Plus certificate. I've been in the IT industry for the last 11 years. I have a computer science background. Content that you'll see on this channel, I'll be giving cybersecurity tips and tricks like I did today, and cybersecurity lessons like this. I'll talk about cybersecurity news, and I do cybersecurity demonstrations where I'll go through and show you what can happen if you don't follow cybersecurity standards. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.